Welcome to another edition of Lakeville City Council Wrap-Up. During this program, we will highlight the agenda items presented to the Lakeville City Council at their June 15th, 2015 meeting. First highlighted item on the agenda is item number 7, public hearing on the proposed modification of Air Lake Redevelopment Project number 1 to be located within the redevelopment project for Mendel Incorporated. And to provide the background information on this agenda item is Community and Economic Development Director Dave Olson.
To get down into and which I didn't touch on in the HRA meeting earlier this evening, but the project area that you see in the dark black line here on the map is the Air Lake redevelopment area that was established in 1984. And over the years, the city has done a number of tax increment financing projects out here to facilitate and help promote growth and expansion of the businesses that are currently out there. This actually, and council will see this again. The project is proposed to go to the Planning Commission for a public hearing this Thursday. But what's occurring out here is the white rectangle showing the existing building that is there, and then the shaded orange area is the proposed 18,000 square foot expansion. Lakeville Technologies, Inc. is the company that owns the building and the real estate out here. It's a company owned and controlled by Mr. Bartz, and as with a lot of the projects out there, the building and the real estate is held by a different organization than the actual operating business. But this outlot was purchased a number of years ago, I think with this type of expansion in mind, and it's coming to fruition now, which is exciting. The planning action that's necessary is that outlot needs to be platted into a lot and block in order to be developed, and that's what the Planning Commission is going to be considering this Thursday. In conjunction with this, and you can see it's the task for the designers of this project were to maximize as much of the site as possible and get as much building square footage on the site as possible. What that has resulted in, and you don't see it on here, but one of the things we've done it in a couple other areas of the city, but it hasn't, I don't believe, occurred yet in the industrial park. But stormwater treatment's going to be handled underneath the parking lot. They'll be installing separate underground structures underneath the parking lot, and what that does is preserve as much of the property to develop for parking and building, and handle basically the stormwater, which does increase the cost, and is part of the rationale for the proposed TIF assistance. The project is estimated to have a value after the completion of the addition of just over $3 million. And what that results in, and all we're able to do under the tax increment provisions, is to capture the new tax increment from the addition. The existing building and land taxes will continue to go to the city, county, and school district, but an economic development TIF district allows us to capture the tax increment generated over by the addition over a period of up to 9 years. And what that is estimated to result in, based on the assessor's valuation, is approximately $155,900 over the length of the TIF district. And what we've done for a number of years in Lakeville, and what a lot of cities do, is it's structured as a pay-as-you-go basis. So basically what that means is that the city's not at any financial risk, that the money, the improvements are fronted by the developer. But then over time, as the taxes are paid and the increments are collected, the city is able to reimburse the developer a portion of their site costs. And in this case, the captured increment of $155,000 over the life of the district is roughly about only about a third of the site improvement costs that have been identified for this site, which total over $455,000. And again, we touched on a little bit at the HRA meeting. We also discussed this project at the EDC on a couple of occasions. The job creation component is the exciting part, or one of the exciting parts of this project. And currently, our 94 employees out at Mendel Incorporated. This project will result in an additional 12 to 25 jobs over the next 2 years. Salaries ranging in the low $30,000 range to as high as $85,000 per year for some of the professional positions. The average, if you average them all out, the range is between $51,000 and $59,000 a year for a job. So they're head of household, quality, high-skilled, high-wage jobs. As alluded to, the City Council first heard about this in April 27th at a work session. You also later then approved the scheduling of the public hearing that we're having tonight. The school district and Dakota County were notified of this TIF district and given 30 days to review and comment as the TIF statutes require. The EDC reviewed this project twice at their April meeting and again at their May 26th meeting, and recommended approval based on the information, with the same information that you have in your packet. And finally, the TIF plan basically sets the framework for doing a tax increment project. We will be bringing forward, and Mandel Inc. is currently reviewing a draft development contract as prepared by the City Attorney's Office, and that will be coming back to you in your first meeting in July. So with that, our staff's recommendation is to adopt the resolution approving the modification of the redevelopment plan for project number 1 and the establishment of the tax increment district number 20 for Mendel Inc.
Item number 7 was approved by the Lakeville City Council. Next highlighted item on the agenda is item number 8, consideration of an ordinance changing the term of mayor from 2 years to 4 years. And to provide the background information on this agenda item is City Administrator Justin Miller.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. At a previous work session, the Council discussed changing the term of the mayor, which is currently 2 years, to a 4-year term, and directed staff to publicize a meeting on tonight's agenda to receive public comment on that proposal. And included in your packet was a survey that was done, I believe, in 2006. Of the largest cities in Minnesota, as well as most Dakota County cities, and showing what their mayoral terms are. If the council did wish to change this tonight or at any time, it would be just an ordinance amendment, and that red line ordinance is in your packet. So if the council, after public comment tonight, wish to take any action, that would be available to you. Absent any action, the mayor's term would remain at 2 years. The only requirements for any time on this is that it be done before the filing period begins for the next election, which would be around summer of 2016.
No action was taken by the Lakeville City Council regarding item number 8. Next highlighted item on the agenda was item number 9, consideration of an ordinance amending Title 3 and 4 of the Lakeville City Code concerning tobacco, smoking lounges, vapor lounges, and electronic delivery devices. And to give the background information on this agenda item is Assistant City Administrator Alan Kennan.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. As the Mayor mentioned, this is an amendment to Titles 3 and 4 at the direction of City Council at the May 11th work session. He did ask staff to take a look at those titles and come forward with a few amendments. The amendments that were asked for staff to look at was adding language that addresses smoking and vaping lounges, revisions to the tobacco best practices ordinance, and adding language that regulates e-cigarettes consistent with the Indoor Clean Air Act. Those revisions were included in your City Council packets for your consideration tonight at our meeting. Briefly, I'm going to go through those ordinance changes, and I think we have some people here from the public that also would like to speak, so I'll make this brief. Under Section 2, the definitions, under Section 2, it was revised to include definitions for smoking lounges and vaping lounges were added. Under Section 4, it amends the basis for denial of a tobacco or cigarette sales license to include the convictions of narcotic possession or possessions of drug paraphernalia as a reason for denial. Under Section 7, wording was added to prohibit the operation of smoking and vaping lounges within the city. Under Section 8, it was amended to eliminate the best practices program and revises the civil penalties for the ordinance violations to reflect that elimination of the best practices. And under Section 9, it was amended to prohibit the use of electronic delivery devices or e-cigarettes in all public places consistent with the State Indoor Clean Air Act. With that, staff is available for any questions.
Item number 9 will be revisited by the Lakeville City Council at a future meeting. Next highlighted item on the agenda is item number 10, Chokecherry Hill, 4th edition. And to provide the background information on this agenda item is City Planner Darrell Morey.
I will be fairly brief, and I will start off with the applications that are before you this evening for this particular project. First is a preliminary plat, and I will show that plat here in just a moment. In conjunction with the plat, there's a couple of other actions that need to occur as well. First is a comprehensive plan amendment to bring a portion of the property into the current MUSA and to guide that property for low, medium density residential uses. As you can see on the overhead, the area in gray is the area that is subject to the comprehensive plan amendment. The subject property is basically this area here. So it is a portion of the property that needs to have the comprehensive plan amendment, and then in conjunction with that, that area that is subject to the comprehensive plan amendment, which is currently zoned RA, agricultural residential district, needs to be rezoned to RS3, single-family residential district, to be consistent in zoning with the rest of the subject property. Now, I would like to move to the colorful preliminary plat and describe some of the features of this proposed preliminary plat, which includes, as you heard from Mr. Stanton, 125 single-family residential lots, 6 outlots. The total acreage is approximately 57 acres, and it's located west of Highview and north of 190th Street, both of which are major collector roadways in the city of Lakeville. Part of the design of this preliminary plat, in addition to the local street network that you see outlined in gray, is additional right-of-way at the intersection of Highview and the east leg of 190th Street, which Street C, as you see here, will intersect with that to create a four-legged intersection. The developer is dedicating additional right-of-way at that intersection to provide the opportunity for a future roundabout. And that is something that has been studied by the city's transportation consultant and has recommended that that would be a preferred option for traffic safety reasons, again, at that intersection, and identified a couple of things related to that in terms of timing. In terms of traffic volumes, the need would occur by the year 2021 for that intersection improvement to occur. However, the study, again by SRF, our traffic consultant, did identify that in 2017, when the County Road 50 improvement projects are underway, there might be some detour traffic that would come into this intersection area, causing some traffic safety and traffic volume concerns. Now, in the interim, what the developer will do is provide dedicated right and left turn lanes at this intersection. As you recalled, last year, there was bypass lanes that were put in at this intersection and also at the westerly leg of the intersection of Highview, Holyoke, and 190th Street. However, given the additional street that would tie into this intersection, Street C, the need for traffic safety to have these dedicated left and right turn lanes, both north and southbound, is something, again, that's being recommended by our traffic consultant. Now, I will point out that these intersection improvements are not part of the current CIP, and I know the City Council will be having discussions about the CIP in the very near future. The Planning Commission, when they reviewed this preliminary plat, did spend a considerable amount of time talking about the intersection improvements, and again acknowledging that that is a decision of the City Council in terms of the funding and timing of that improvement. The Planning Commission did hold a public hearing on the preliminary plat, comprehensive plan amendment, and zoning map amendment at their June 4th meeting and unanimously recommended approval. There was public comment from 4 neighboring property owners. their questions were addressed by the developer, staff, and the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission also recommended at the time, and Mr. Stanton agreed, to work with the city regarding the future use and ownership of Outlot F. As you can see, this parcel is surrounded by public street right-of-way. It's a little bit of an island at this point in time, and that's something we will work with the developer on prior to final plat, or at the time of final plat submittal. The Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Committee also recommended approval of the preliminary plat at their June 3rd meeting. So in summary, staff is recommending City Council approve the resolutions approving the preliminary plat, subject to the stipulations recommended by the Planning Commission, the resolution approving the comprehensive plan amendment, and then also the ordinance rezoning the portion of the property to RS3, and then adopt the findings of fact. And I can stand for questions.
Item number 10 was approved by the Lakeville City Council. Well, those were the highlighted items presented to the council at their June 15th, 2015 meeting. If you have any questions or comments regarding these agenda items, please feel free to call City Hall. The number is 952-985-4400. Thanks for watching this edition of Lakeville City Council Wrap-Up.